Hey everyone, this is Paul Gale from paulgalenetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for video game news. It is November 29th, 2021, and these are the top stories of the day. To kick things off, we're going to check out the Big Brain Academy Brain vs. Brain overview trailer for Nintendo Switch. It's about 3.5 minutes long, so let's watch it.
You! Get your thinking cap on! How many blocks?
15.
Battle to determine whose brain is the brawniest. Big Brain Academy. Brain versus brain. Now, there are 5 categories, each with 4 activities. Identify. Spot the correct image. Quickly! Memorize. See it, hear it, remember
Drum.
it. Analyze. It's all about finding patterns.
Squirrel thing.
Compute. Brain teasers with numbers.
4 and 2. Or 5 and 1.
Visualize. Get some perspective.
Bottom left, top right, bottom right. I'm trying to play.
Answer questions correctly, and the activity will get harder.
Top left, 2.
There are 6 difficulties. Yes, 6. From Sprout class
It gets pretty
to
tough.
Super Elite class. Do well, and you'll earn in-game medals and coins. And more coins equal more costumes for your avatar.
Platinum is the best. 5 stars. Oof. That's a good one.
That's a lovely fashion statement. You flexed your brain? Good. Now, test. Play one activity from each category to calculate your score and ranking. Let's see how you do. The graph shows the categories you're good at and not so good at, so you can balance your activities.
It's a great game. I'll tell you more in a second
Up to 4 of you
about my
brainiacs can play
demo
party mode.
experiences thus far.
You can select your own difficulty, so everyone, yes, from the tiniest fledgling to the snappiest elder, can play together. How lovely! Two can also play with touch controls. Tap, tap, tap!
I'm looking forward to Ghost Clash.
Connect online to compete
Ghost
against
Data?
Ghost Data of family, friends,
be
and
pretty
all
cool.
sorts of brainiacs like yourself. And because it is Ghost Data, there's simply no need to wait for an opponent. Challenge them whenever you want. You can also find specific Ghost Data by searching for their ID, for those of you who really want to show off. You know who you are.
Yeah. Awesome.
Whether you play alone, with your family and friends, or with other brainiacs around the world, I want you all to flex those brains for me. Please and thank you. Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. And it will be up December 3rd only on Nintendo Switch. But I'd start flexing your brain early with the free demo on Nintendo eShop. Okay? Good.
The demo is so good. Let me
Get some
just talk a
perspective.
little bit about Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. Okay, I was a big fan of the original Big Brain Academy on the Nintendo DS in the early 2000s, and also had quite a bit of fun with Big Brain Academy Wii Degree on Nintendo's Wii console a few years after the original, but definitely had more experience overall playing the DS first entry. However, the form factor, the ease of play nature of Nintendo Switch, picking it up in portable mode or playing on TV, the fact that it's 4 players at once, it's got Ghost Data this time around. I think this will probably be my most played entry in the series. The demo is great. It gives you 3 games so far to play, and it's a matching one, which is right here in Shadow Shift, a whack-the-mole one where an item pops out and you have to match it to above, whether it's an animal, a shape, a flower, whatever. and a balloon popping mode where it's popping the balloons from smallest number to largest. And it gets pretty complex with negative numbers and then fractions. And then you've got fractions, negative numbers, things like 2 over 3, so it's 2/3. Okay, so that's 0.66. That's less than 1, but -5 is less than that. And then, 5 over 2. Okay, that one's now 2.5, so 2.5 is higher. Boom, boom, boom. And you only have so much time to figure them out. I love it. A couple of these games are similar, reminiscent of the past entries on DS and Wii. Some of them are new. I'm looking forward to trying all of them out. I think there are 5 categories and 4 games each, so it looks like there will be 20 different mini games to play. But this game is kind of like almost like a Tetris or a puzzle type game, in terms of you don't just stop playing once you beat it once. You just get better and better. You get a higher and higher score. And at $30, it's a very attractive price that I think a lot of people are going to pick it up. The demo is great. I definitely recommend it. You could play with up to 4 people in the demo itself. You could play, 2 at a time, take your Nintendo Switch out of the dock, put it in portable mode, and play touchscreen, which is nice. You could have 4 people up on the TV. And there's also another mode where it's not you against others, it's just you against yourself, and it's taking you through, challenge after challenge, and showing how well can you do, how well can you score. Now, the save data doesn't transfer over from the demo into the real game, but I shared my results on Twitter and actually put up a little challenge, and I paid through that challenge. I had a score of over 3,000, okay? 3,013 or something like that was my score of 3 combined, because in 2 of the challenges I did well over 1,000. One I did like high 900s, so it was, over 3,000 combined. And I said, hey, if anybody on Twitter can beat me by 1 Brain Age point, I'll give you a $10 eShop gift card. I know people were trying. I know people were interested. Folks told me like, I missed this and stuff like that, but I would have participated. Like, hey, you can still, submit your entry, just I'm only paying the first person. Someone sure enough won. I sent the person a $10 eShop gift card. They passed my score. Why did I do it? Well, I like a good challenge. I like a creative environment. I know I'm not the best in the world at this or at Tetris or anything like that, but this is a game that I like, that isn't so large that everyone in the world is playing it, but I want to get more people into it, because when you like something, you kind of want other people out there to have access to, be knowledgeable about something that you like, so that you kind of now share in the excitement. So, that's why I made a cash prize available, and I paid. I got beat. I'm looking forward to all of the games and probably having another kind of prize. Maybe I'll do a live stream or something like that, a head-to-head challenge. Maybe I'll throw up my ghost data, and if you're a watcher on my YouTube channel or on Twitter and you're showing proof that you win, you'll get some kind of prize or a shout out or something like that. We'll see. I think actually that would be cool if Nintendo did it. Kind of like how Nintendo does their Tetris 99, once every month or so challenges. Sometimes it's okay, who could win first place the most in this weekend? You're going to get the equivalent of $10 in eShop money. Okay, sweet. Sometimes it's okay, it's not about who could win the most number 1 spots, but can you get to 100 points total? You could get 99th place a bunch of times, probably 100 times at that point. And as long as you get to the 100 points, you unlock the skin, right? You unlock the new background, music, sound effects for Tetris 99 and to have on your console permanently. Well, what if Nintendo had little contests of like, all right, this week or this month, we're seeing who are the best identify people in the world. And the person with the highest ghost data, the person with the most challenges, whoever comes up on top, at the end of the week or month in the identify section wins a small eShop cash prize, right? Or one specific game in the memorize category. If you win that one game and have the highest ghost data, okay, you win a little prize. Like, they could really have a good time with the community. I'm not making any money off of this. In fact, I'm losing money off of this because if I have more challenges, the better and better scores I put up, the more incentive people are going to want to have, to beat me, to be better, especially if there's money involved or some kind of shout out prize on a YouTube channel or something. But yeah, it's just fun. You could play at different levels of difficulty. If you have young children, like I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son, so I put them at respective levels. If you're curious, like, well, what's my respective level? Where should I be? You can take the little test and you'll see. I'm a beginner. I'm elite plus. I'm advanced, intermediate, like this and this. And you could just play by yourself and get better and better at each challenge and increase your brain size. And if you want to head-to-head with people in versus modes, you could put yourself at just intermediate or at just elite or just beginner without this fluctuating scale. And that way you could have, like in that Neil Patrick Harris commercial, him and his family, he had different people playing at this level versus this level, so it's appropriate difficulty per person at his or her own mental strength level. And even someone younger could win against someone older and someone more knowledgeable, right? So a lot of fun. I know I've been raving about this for a long time. I thought this was just going to be a trailer reaction, but it got me all pumped up. So I want to know, are you a fan of Big Brain Academy? Did you play We Degree? Did you play the original? Is this your first time? Have you checked out the demo yet? What do you think? I'm picking this one up digital day one. I want this thing always on my system. This isn't going to be a game I want to switch in and out cartridges because I'll probably want to dive into this game every day, maybe even a couple different times a day every day, like in between my more grand sessions of Shin Megami Tensei 5 or, whatever else that I have on Switch, whether it's Pokemon Legends Arceus as that comes out, Splatoon 3, etc. This will be something that I hop back to often, kind of like Tetris 99. Okay, and moving on, that was a lot of fun. Speaking of Neil Patrick Harris, that's kind of what the next story is. My family and I watched 8-Bit Christmas, which happened to star Neil Patrick Harris. That I did not know going into it, and we absolutely loved it. If there was ever a movie that was made for me, a movie made for Paul Gale Network, this was it. The main character in the film, which is a young Neil Patrick Harris. The movie is told in two time frames in 2021 as he is talking to his daughter in the movie, Jack, that is, or Jake. Jake or Jack? Jake, I think. As the character Jake is talking to his daughter about, let me tell you my old school story back in 1980, and it was 1988, when I was a boy and I wanted my Nintendo. Well, 1988, he was 11. 1988 for me, I was 5. But otherwise, being a little bit younger than the main character in 88, same general thing. Outside, playing as a kid in the 80s, you have different friends in the neighborhood. It's got that 80s vibe to it. All you want is a Nintendo Entertainment System, is the talk of the town, even a couple of years in, because it did come out in North America in 85, and hit in so many different levels of nostalgia, being a fun ride, a wholesome movie. My wife liked it, my son and my daughter liked it. I got teary-eyed a couple of times in the movie for different reasons. Sometimes a movie hits you just in the right level of feels. Sometimes, gets you a little teary or emotional because you're so happy and overjoyed of something. And sometimes, something hits you kind of sad. It brings close to home, This movie was mostly a blast in terms of comedy and delivering things that I relate to a lot, and a couple of sad elements, which were still beautiful in how they were told. So I loved it overall. Terrific. I can't recommend it enough. Check out 8-Bit Christmas. It's a part of HBO Max. So if you already have it, well, consider it a part of your subscription and enjoy. If you don't have HBO Max, I would say it's worth signing up for the month at least, just to check out the film. Like, it's that good. It's worth the $15 ticket, in my opinion. But if you already have the service, by all means, watch it. Anyways, or I should say, moving on, because I could talk about that movie a lot more, but I don't want to get into spoiler territory. I spoke last night with Jeff Keighley live on the phone regarding the Game Awards. The Game Awards is coming out in 10 more days, December 9th. We had a good conversation over Twitter Spaces. A few other people were in the channel in the Spaces app, which is a live talking back and forth network service that's fairly new to Twitter. And we talked about the Game Awards, respecting the past, how the event really has become a great marriage of paying tribute to the video game industry, highlighting different people in it, showing off brand new world premiere trailers, which is exciting, and having a good panel, which is not always the easiest to highlight all of the different games that are deserving of each individual category: Game of the Year, Adventure, Action, voice acting, etc. But that they do a good job. And one of the questions that I asked was, without giving too much away that Jeff, shouldn't be saying, and he didn't, there are a lot of anniversaries in 2021. A lot of things turning 35, 25, 30, 10. Will there be anything specifically at the Game Awards that we could look forward to in 10 days? It was 11 days last night. And he said, yes, they do have something planned. It's one of those things that, they try not to go too much into the past and take that time away from current stuff or stuff that's forward. But if there's a way how to have something that's, this is what I was trying to get at. If there's a way to have something that's from the past that's celebrating a history, a momentous year, for instance, but that is also relevant because of what's going on in that series going forward, that's a good choice. And I'm thinking Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary is a nice number to celebrate. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's successor on the plate, right in time for pretty much within the 35th year-ish. 36 is still going to count close enough. So I can't say that Legend of Zelda is happening, but I can say that something is going to get a special tribute or some things of the 25th, 30, 10, or 35 year anniversary, whether it's music, montage, trailer, new sneak peek, something's going to happen. So that's kind of cool news in my opinion. And on that note, I'll end with this. Shortly after Jeff talked about that, he also mentioned that at the show, there will be a world premiere that they've been working on with someone to land for the last 2.5 years. A lot of people think Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, because Nintendo showed it off for the first time at June E3 2019. This is 2.5 years later. That makes sense. And that could be it, because the game is literally 2.5 years now from when they first showed it off. But technically it wouldn't be a first time ever. Now, it doesn't have to be a first time ever. It could be a first time ever in the full capacity of HUD, gameplay, cinematic, when in the timeline does it take place, gameplay elements more fully realized, the title, all that stuff. But it could also be, I think we're going to see Zelda, but this comment could also be Metroid Prime 4. And why? Well, after Nintendo talked about it for the first time at June 2017 E3 event, and then we found out January 2019 that the game got scrapped and rebooted, perhaps Jeff Keighley saw that, after this announcement in January that the game was being rebooted and that it did not show up at that year's E3, June 2019, what if it was approached to Nintendo, made this conversation happen of, hey, we noticed that Metroid Prime 4 wasn't at E3. We know that it's being developed now by Retro Studios. Could you have something ready for us at the Game Awards? We'd love to be the ones to break first trailer. It's not ready yet, but let's work on it. maybe we'll give you the exclusive. It doesn't show up at E3 2020 or the Game Awards 2020 because it's not ready yet. And maybe by the time it could have been ready to be shown off at E3 2021, there were already things in place per an agreement with Jeff Keighley and the Game Awards that it's being saved for the Game Awards 2021. That's 2.5 years from this hypothetical conversation at E3 in 2019. It does make sense, but then again, several things could make sense. You could kind of spin things anyway and make it favor Zelda, make it favor Metroid, make it favor Street Fighter 6. You could do whatever you want, but I think Metroid Prime 4 stands a good chance. I also think that, it very well could be The Legend of Zelda. Whether it is or not, I do think Zelda shows up in some capacity. All right, that's going to do it. 3 small topics to talk about today, but it was a lot of fun. Let me know what you thought about Big Brain Academy. Did you watch 8-Bit Christmas? If not, are you going to check it out? I definitely recommend it. And what's your hype level right now for the Game Awards as it approaches us very near 10 days left? I'm hyped. I'm at a 10. All right, thanks for watching. This is PGN signing out. Hope you all have a good one. Take it easy. Bye.